Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Tonight in the Cosmos. What's going on? Hi, I'm Shannon. I'm the host, owner, and operator of Lunar Ladies. Welcome to all those in the Lunar Ladies Lifestyle Facebook group. And if you're watching this on YouTube, thanks for watching. Here we go. We're going to do slightly different on our Monday night. So this happens every Monday night, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or Pacific Daylight Time, whatever time we're in. And we take a look at what's happening in the cosmos. So I look at the week ahead and I look to see, okay, what's going on planetarily as far as who's aspecting who, right? And then, of course, see what the moon's doing, right? So we always know emotionally, what's happening at our core root self. And then I get an overall view of, okay, who's standing out? What are they representing? How do we tap in? And of course, how do you find that in your natal chart? So I'm looking at the week starting today, August 29th, 2022 through Sunday, September 4th, 2022. And it's in the United States, it's a holiday weekend, Labor Day weekend. And let's get going. And of course, if you're watching live, feel free to comment, say hello, ask a question, ask for clarification. And if you're watching the replay, feel free to make a comment or tag me so that I know that it's there and I can respond. Okay, so we first start out looking at the week ahead through the lens of the moon. Now, why the moon, right? Well, you're in the Lunar Ladies and it happens to be surrounded or around the moon's energy. And astrologically, the moon represents your core self, meaning your innermost primal emotional body self. Now I feel like the emotional body forms first, then the physical body forms. And so like if you change how you feel about things or your emotional patterns, then you can sustain physical shifts and changes much easier when your mind and your emotions are in harmony, then the physical responds. So we look at the emotional energy this week through the lens of the moon, and we start out tonight, it's in Libra. And we just came off the heels of the Virgo new moon, which happened on the 27th, so 2 days ago. Happy new moon and happy birthday to all the Virgos out there. Linda Light is having her birthday tomorrow. So everyone wish Linda Light a very happy solar return, August 30th. Yay! Celebrating all the Virgos. And we had Leilani had her birthday today. I had a childhood friend, Janie Richardson had her birthday today. And of course, all the wonderful Virgos out there. And we did celebrate Tiffany's birthday in heaven. And so that was, I'm sure, very big experience for a lot of you, especially those of you who are really close to Tiffany. And we wish her spirit, her children, her family, all the love that they need to feel supported and hugged tight by the universe. Okay, Libra moon. We're in a waxing phase, so it's building every day, gets stronger and stronger till the full moon, which is on September 10th. And this week, we're going to feel the moon energy through Libra, Scorpio, and Sagittarius. All right. We're going to end this week with the first quarter moon phase coming into action on September 3rd, which is Saturday in the sign of Sagittarius. So when you're looking at your natal chart, find Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, they'll all be in a row, and see what houses that is for you. And then you'll know emotionally that you're getting a clearing or a shifting, a changing, or tapping into the emotional energy and magical manifestation energy through those three signs, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius. Now, when we look at Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius astrologically, it governs what's known as the third quarter or third quadrant of the zodiac wheel. And that has to do with social identity. So emotionally, you may experience things around relationships, intimacy, and trust, and looking at the bigger picture and redefining your philosophy of life based on your relationships, based on intimacy and trust and surrender to the divine, and then walking that seeker's path of, wow, I'm the fool in the tarot with an open mind and an open heart, and anything is possible, right? So that's where we're going with the first quarter Sagittarius moon on Saturday, September 3rd. It's known as the Seeker's Moon. So you'll be guided by the moon's energy to begin seeking your own truth. And the moon says, find it through your one-to-one relationships, or if you're in a committed relationship, marriage, things like that, union of partnership, look at that relationship. How is it feeling? How's it going? Is it in balance? Does it need adjustment? Does it need a shift? Libra can create a new cycle, right? So we're getting into that emotional energy around intimacy. Who do I trust that I can share my vulnerable self with, right? That might be a very small group. And if it's no one in human form, then there might be a spirit animal or a pet or a sacred place in your area where you live, or your spirit guides, right? It doesn't have to be a physical person. It could be, what do you connect with at that deep core level where you can be yourself, your authentic self, you can be vulnerable, and you trust that you'll be cared for and supported. Nice. A Scorpio. So Scorpio's going to pull you down into the underworld and want to know, hold that Venus mirror up and go, how do you really feel about this? And you have to have someone or something to express or connect with, that you can feel safe to share how you really feel and not be afraid that you'll be judged, shamed, felt guilty about all those things. So Scorpio deals with the deep, dark, emotional energy that we don't really connect with all that often because it's way down deep inside. And we have to be able to have someone we trust because it's our most vulnerable self. So we pass through that initiation and we get to that Sagittarius moon energy, and then we're flying. We got wings to fly out of the underworld up into the skies. Look, with the view of the eagle, wanting to see a bigger picture. So any issue, or especially around relationships that you may be encountering this week, then you want to get up, up, up and above. I need a bigger view. I need to open up my mind. I need to optimize the situation. I need to go, what is really going on here? Show me what I need to see. Hi, Brooke. Welcome. Thanks so much. Staying up late tonight. Thanks for joining. We're talking about the week ahead in the cosmos, what to expect. So we got the moon moving through Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius. So grab your natal chart and see where that is in your life. For me, I'm a Gemini rising. So when I go to Libra, it's in my 5th house. I go to Scorpio, it's my 6th house. And I go to Sagittarius, it's my 7th house. So that'll be my emotional focus of where I want to shift, change, and grow. I'm going to go to my core root self. So it's a sustainable breakthrough. And I can use the energy of the waxing moon. Okay, next up for, who's aspecting who, on August 31st, which is Wednesday, we have Venus, which is, I noticed that all of the inner planets are getting a hello for you this week from the cosmos. We have Venus, Mercury, and Mars. Venus representing your inner feminine, what you value, how your relationships with things. Mercury is your thought system, your behaviors, that are kind of on automatic pilot, how you think, the words you say, those short, quick conversations, especially if it's social media or texting or really short coffee get-togethers rather than a long journey with someone. It's more like a coffee date, right? That's Mercury. And then Mars is your inner masculine, or for men, it's the expressing the masculine on the outer, Venus expressing the feminine on the outer. So Mars is about your inner warrior, your courage, your fearlessness, your passions. He's igniting that energy, right? Want to set it on fire, want to get you going. This is a waxing lunar week, so we want to use that Mars energy to move our bodies through time and space. So if you've got some stinking thinking and you're, chewing on something that, or something's gnawing at you under your skin, get your body out and moving. Movement is key this week, especially with those inner planets, because we can connect really quickly to what's going on and get a nice shift by just being in motion. So the inner planets, Venus, Mercury and Mars, are aspecting with the outer planets, Neptune, Pluto, and Jupiter, right? So what does Pluto represent? Soul. What is your soul's incarnation over and over, coming back to this planet, to this lifetime, to like, what's my soul here to do, right? And you're part of a group soul, all the people born in that generation that you're a part of. Neptune, what's my mystical understanding of the timelessness and no boundaries? And, what does my soul have to say, or how does it see through the third eye? That's your inner mystic. And then Jupiter is your ebullience, your ability to expand and be connected to joy, to the creator. It's like Bach's Ode to Joy, right? It's that beautiful, bouncy, happy, go-lucky type energy. It's the sun's vibration of joy. So those are the outer planets mixing with the inner planets. So back to Wednesday, we've got an aspect with Venus. So Venus is saying, okay, this is a day, Wednesday is your day to tune into how you feel about stuff and your relationships with things. Now it's making a spiritual aspect known as a yod, which is high electric frequency of light that needs to be grounded in the physical. So you have to slow it down by grounding it in your body and down into the earth. And so Venus is making a yod to Neptune. Venus and Neptune are in a harmonic relationship. Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. So it's like Venus evolved, right? So they're one and the same. So to me, what that's saying is your evolved higher self is giving you download, giving you a message through your inner feminine, through how you feel and relate and what you value, right? So when I looked at the Sabian symbols, Venus is in Leo. It's your heart chakra, right? Your fun, your romance, fall in love with yourself. And Neptune's in Pisces, fall in love with your soul's multiple experiences through many lifetimes. What do you need just for today? So I feel like that Neptune is very Reiki oriented. And this is something that I've been practicing as a spiritual daily practice is, okay, I get myself into the future and I start freaking out or worrying about the future. And I'm like, wait a sec. Reiki says a Reiki principle is just for today. What do I need? Just for today. Do I have everything I need? And I sit there and go, wow, well, yeah, just for today, I've got everything I need. I am sitting pretty, right? Why am I out in the future, trying to worry about something that's not even here? So I feel like that's a wonderful way that you can connect that Venus energy in Leo with Neptune in Pisces just for today. What do you need to feel more joy, to be in a relationship to your creativity, to be more self-expressed, or be more romantic with life? Fall in love with life, yourself, your inner child. Have a romantic day, whether you're in partnership or not. You can be totally in love with life on Wednesday. That's how you're going to ground this energy. All right. Next day on September 1st, we've got Mars. So we leave the energy and the inoculation of Venus, the download from our higher spirit. We move into our inner masculine or Mars energy. We're going to take that spiritual experience and activate it into the life, right? Like really quick. So Neptune is in a sextile, which is synergy, harmony, synergy with Jupiter. Now Jupiter's in Aries, where Mars is the ruler. Mars is in Gemini because he's going to be there for 7 months. So this day, you want to activate that courageous fearlessness from the download you got the day before that felt really good, that's helping you with your inner child, your, falling in love with life, romancing yourself, right? And then when you feel that way, you're going to automatically turn around and offer that gift of love, like that Page of Cups, to anybody who crosses your path, right? Sometimes it could be, oh, you smile at a mom and her little child and the baby smiles back and, oh, it's a wonderful moment. Or you say, oh, how are you to a little dog who's getting walked and he's wagging his tail and it's a beautiful moment. So that's how you're going to shift the take that Venus download into the Mars. How can I change my moment now with that energy? Later that day, Venus comes back through and she says, well, now I made a yod yesterday to Neptune. I moved pretty fast. I'm heading towards Pluto, right? So is she in Pluto? Maybe I read that wrong. She's doing something with Pluto. What's she doing? Is it square? Huh. That's Leo. Yeah, no, she's in yod to Pluto. Interesting. I must have had the other one. Must have been anyway. It's coming through how it's coming through. So picking back up, then we get an inoculation from our soul. Capricorn, changing structures, building something new. What's your soul here to do? What's your purpose? What's your calling? Venus wants you to give expression and creative expression to that. That's you ground the energy. Moving on to the next day, September 2nd. Mercury chimes in. He's like, okay, Venus and Mars, you guys are doing great. Now it's my turn, right? So we have the beautiful mercurial magician stepping forward, making an opposition to Jupiter, where Mars was just in synergy. Now Mercury, who rules Gemini, where Mars is right now, says, I'm going to come in opposition to Jupiter and form an octave through the energy of Libra. Now, when we look ahead for next week Mercury goes retrograde. So there's something in this week with the mercurial energy on September 2nd that is a key for your journey. So make sure you're paying attention, looking for that key or that gift from Mercury. Mercury's coming into opposition. And the Sabian symbols are about a woman feeding chickens. So that nurturing energy, wanting to take care of others, connecting or creating an oppositional harmonic with the energy of a human in two realms. So say, for instance, on the 2nd, which is Friday, you have an encounter with a wildlife, a pet, an animal. And you can exist in two realms. You can be the human helping or supporting or providing for the animal or the pet, or, could feed the birds that day. You can take your doggy for a walk, something special, get a new toy for the kitty. So you're showing up as a kindly steward of the planet. And then take the next step and exist in that other realm where the animal, the wildlife, can communicate with you and give you a message, right? So you can spend some really quality, interesting relationship, one-to-one time with another, species, whether it's an elemental or it's a physical animal, bird, butterfly. But there's a message that wants to get across there for you on Friday. So tune into the natural world to get a message. And that's going to be a message that's going to support your Mercury retrograde that starts next week. Okay, so we're gonna wind up this week. Saturday, we go into first quarter moon Sagittarius. Means you're going to start making breakthroughs with the sun's going to be shining in Virgo. Moon's going to come and form a square and start building resistance. So it's going to be earth versus fire. And so you're going to be looking at, okay, I'm clearing my daily routines. I'm cleaning up. I'm organizing my life. I'm getting healthier, body, mind, and spirit with the sun in Virgo. Moon in Sagittarius says, I'm seeking truth. Why make these changes? What's my why? Because that's going to create an energy that's more powerful to make your change permanent and sustainable. So that seeker's moon is going to be seeking for truth. All right. So then on Sunday, Venus chimes again. What's she going to do? She's going to move into the sign of Virgo. She's going to say, bye, Leo. It was so great being queen. Now I'm moving into the goddess of the wheat, right? I got work to do with all this creative energy. I'm going to start shifting it into Virgo, which is the mother divine, body, mind, and spirit. Yeah, your Virgo stellium activated, Janice. I love it. I love it. So let's look at the Venus going into Virgo chart. Let's do it. Let me see. What do I got here? Pull it up for you so you can see it. Oh, I do have it there. Great. Screen share. All right, here we go. Let me just shorten it a little so I can see you guys. Okay, so let's take a look. Venus into Virgo. What can this event chart tell us about the transit of Venus in Virgo? And let's see, how long will she be there as goddess of the wheat? She will be there. Venus in Virgo. There she is. She will be there. Oh, until the end of the month, September 29th. So we have almost a full month of Venus in Virgo. How nice, the goddess, feet. So pretty eclectic chart, meaning planets all over the place. That's nice. So it's not being super hyper focused, right? And but I do notice there is a finger of God. So I'm going to start there. There's a finger of God pointing to Chiron. So this Venus in Virgo cycle is going to be spiritually spearheaded by Chiron in review, retrograde, Aries, 15 degrees. And the 15th degree of Aries is the fairies dancing in the setting sun. So again, elemental world to be connecting with. The elementals want to help us purify, heal our elemental nature, right? Which is a part of our inner magic of our wild child, our nature inner child that wants to heal through nature, the elementals, the magical beings. So who are your magical being friends? Who like the fae? Who like the mermaids? Who like the salamanders, or the, you know, what's your elemental that your go-to elemental, your mystical animal? Unicorns, Pegasus, who is it, right? That's who you want to be connecting with to heal your inner magical child. Now, the energy is coming from the South Node in Scorpio and the Sun in Virgo. So this is Venus in Virgo. The Sun's at 12 degrees. That's the galactic healer degree, right? So Venus is saying, oh, I'm going to use the Sun's energy. We've got Vulcan, which is the maker of soul rules. So you got new routines coming down. It's almost like, you know, when you work psychically, you have your guides, right? And then you go, when you're ready to make a shift, you go in and ask for a new guide who has more information. To me, this sounds like we're asking for a new guide this Venus in Virgo cycle, or this month of September, that's going to help us become heal our inner magical child, access our galactic healing energy, right? Our own personal sun apothecary, our own light codes that will help us with new higher self, spirit, body, mind, spirit routines for our wellness. And the South Node is saying we're undoing an old pattern that's in the shadow. Now, the old pattern is, I love that the Sabian symbol for 15 degrees Scorpio is the girl's face. So we have the youth, the girl, her face breaking into a smile. I just love that Sabian symbol. But to me, it's saying, you know, is that remember your inner girl. You know, how did she play with the elemental world out in nature, right? How did she play? What made her break out into a smile? That's going to be your power essence, your superpower. Access that memory, you know, if you don't know, make it up. Who do you like? What elemental do you like? They're really here to help us. So take advantage of this awareness that the elementals are really empowered right now. And you know, even if you think it's silly, do it anyway. Have some fun with it. Let your inner child play. Now the Sun is saying, I'm going to bring you the Sabian symbol energy says it's an invisible hand, right? This kind of spiritual hand coming into like clear away hysteria. And a lot of that's generated through politics and kind of, social, cultural, mainstream minutia. There's going to be this invisible hand clearing it away for you because you're like, divine is saying most of that is nonsense. Don't give it your attention, which your attention is gold. Keep that gold for yourself, meaning keep your focus on yourself, your inner self, which is divine in nature. It's elemental in nature. What is a human being but a divine being in the material world, right? And being a divine being has that magical elemental aspect. Let's reconnect to that, especially if it's something that's been lost in your world, right? Okay, so Venus, when she's traveling through Virgo, she becomes in the tarot, the Nine of Pentacles. And the Nine of Pentacles is part of the, Mars in, here she is. Isn't she lovely? Oh, isn't she lovely? There she is. This is the lady in the garden, right? This is a queen with her falcon, with all the pentacles, strolling through her garden, enjoying herself, right? There she is. Queen, the Nine of Pentacles is the queen, whole unto herself. This is Venus and Virgo's energy. Okay, now we know if you were watching last week, the Mars and Gemini, journey is about the nines, right? The nines, because Mars and Gemini is the nine of swords. I can think the Nine of Swords in the tarot. So all the nines plus the Hermit and the Star are your healing path. Venus in Virgo represents the Nine of Pentacles. She is part of the Diamond of Wellness, right? So you want to understand the energy of this card for the Venus in Virgo journey. That's going to be pretty much the whole month of September. Now, if you need some extra help, I'm going to show you, I have a workbook. It's on sale. Let me tell you what it's all about. Let's see. I might have to go off camera for this. I can show you where it is. Oh, I know. I can click over here. This is the upcoming full moon that I was working on today. Let's see. Over here. All right. And I will list this. So here's the Mars Wellness Workbook that talks about the Nine of Pentacles, which is Venus in Virgo. It's on sale for $12. So you can go to my website and order it. It's 22-page PDF download available for you. So let me just put this in the comments. If you are interested, I highly recommend the workbook. It will really help you out. And why not? Right? So it does teach you about the Nine of Pentacles. And so in essence, what we're saying now, as we decode the Venus and Virgo chart, this is the Nine of Pentacles time. If you look at the energy for the year, when Venus is in Virgo. So like for Janice, who says, I have a natal Venus in Virgo, I would say, wow, Janice, you have a Nine of Pentacles in your chart. Isn't that cool? Yeah, so Janice, if you get the workbook, let me know your experience of using it, or of course, if you have questions around using it. I love feedback. I have fun making these things, but I always want to make sure that they're actually what you need, right? Okay, so I think that could be a really fun, I might do a little handout, how to find the tarot cards in your natal chart. Wouldn't that be cool? Not every planet has a natal, has a tarot card, but if you could do your own tarot spread based on your chart, that'd be super fun. But yeah, so Venus in Virgo, if you have a natal Venus in Virgo, you have a Nine of Pentacles, meaning you've got this energy that you can tap into, which is the lady in her garden. Look at those grapes. Look at all that wealth. Look at that falcon. So Janice, she likes to post, and we're also blessed by her photos on Facebook of her garden. That's your total 9 of Pentacles, Janice. That's you being your Venus and Virgo. And then what she takes it the next step further, and she harvests her bounty from flowers to fruits to veggies, and then she makes awesome food in the kitchen, like blackberry cobbler or blackberry margaritas. Like, what? Total 9 of Pentacles power mama. So if you need support to become a 9 of Pentacles, ask Janice or anyone with a natal Venus and Virgo. It's awesome. Okay, so we know that this particular journey through for Venus is highly focused on Chiron 15 degrees retrograde Aries, which is the fairies dancing in the setting sun, being supported by or generated through unwinding a Scorpio past life pattern energy that says, let your inner girl or your inner child break out into a smile by connecting to the elemental world. Get your galactic healing power by existing in 2 realms, meaning allow yourself to be what we call human and elemental at the same time. I say, when I connect to my elemental energy, I'm like, oh yeah, humans are really, they're an angelic race in physical form. Where's my wings? I like to fly. Right? All us Gemini risings, we like flying. It feels good to fly in the clouds. Okay, now we have Verte, which is the truth, with Mercury opposing Chiron. So that's also in a helping position of looking at relationships, making sure they're balanced by truth. And if not, communicate. Start some non-violent communication, right? Like this is the Mercury says, okay, I need to listen to the person I'm in a relationship with right here. Let me listen. Then let me repeat back to them. Okay, if I understand right or correctly, this is what I heard you say. Is this right? And it gives the other person a chance to listen and respond, saying, oh, actually, no, I don't mean it like that. I mean it like this. Oh, so you're saying this. Okay, now we have clarity. So you're going to get clarity, one-to-one relationships through communication by listening and saying, is this what I heard? Is this right? So what you're seeking is a collaborative effort by both parties for understanding, which brings harmony and health. And that's also going to heal that inner self that's wounded from the loss of our wings, the loss of our elemental nature. Especially when we get to be adults, it's like the world isn't as fun anymore. And whose idea was that? Not mine. All right, this chart also has a T-square to Saturn, right? So we have Saturn here, ancient ruler of Aquarius, retrograde 20 degrees. And I believe the 20th degree of Aquarius is, woman disappointed and disillusioned. So this is going to be, your Aquarius is friendships or groups. Be on the lookout for any disappointment or disillusionment. If so, seek counsel with Mercury and the truth and go, okay, I'm feeling this way. Is this what's really going on here? Like that might mean have a conversation with that friend, get to the truth. And even if the truth is like, wow, that person really isn't my friend, that's okay. It's better for you to know. You can let that person go with love and make room for someone who can fill that space that actually works with you. And these could be old friends that you've outgrown, groups that you've outgrown. It's okay to outgrow, right? Sometimes when you stand up for yourself or say, wow, I really need this for myself, and you take yourself out of an equation or a picture, it actually gives an opportunity for that group or that friendship or that other person to grow too. But it takes courage. and it takes inner calm, inner peace. Okay, now we've got another T-square here to the moon. Moon's at 1 degree Capricorn. So moon in Capricorn could be issues with mothers, could be this lack of emotional support, possibly through old friends that maybe have been outgrown. So look at where you kind of feel neglected from your, or, you know, kind of left out, neglected. That's that moon and Capricorn energy. When you connect to that place, the part of fortune here is saying, it's going to be good for you to realize what it is that doesn't serve you anymore, right? So don't be afraid. Because remember, we're unwinding patterns. In Scorpio, especially, you know, that's where people can manipulate us and take advantage. So better you know, what friends are real and what friends are not real, or groups that you're a part of that don't really serve your highest good, to release yourself from those kinds of bondages. And it frees everybody in the process. So just know that the Venus and Virgo energy is playing those kind of stories out. Okay, what else do we got here? We do have a trapezoid of light, which I find very interesting, through Mars square Venus. So we have a Mars square Venus action going on. So we're going to be challenged, but to help us grow. So the inner masculine, having courage, inner feminine, being true to what we value. That's the challenge, to stay focused there. And then we have Jupiter square the moon, right? Making sure, like, okay, we got to heal the inner divine connection to self, higher self. We're going to do that through the moon and Venus, right? Which is, what do we value and how do we really feel? So Mars will make a spiritual aspect to the moon, saying, I'm going to charge you up. Be ready to spiritually receive this. Don't be blindsided by it. Ground it through your body into the earth. Ask for help. Ask for sustenance from the earth to feel nurtured and fortified. Jupiter is aspecting Venus, saying, okay, I'm going to give you this expanded view of yourself, because I need Venus to see, oh, what am I working with? This clay. I want to mold it into a goddess. I want to mold it into the divine self. So Jupiter is going to be showing you an expanded version of the pain. So Venus can go, okay, wait, we got to take some of these pain elements and extract them because they're toxic and put them in the compost and put medicine there to regrow a more healthier landscape within. And then that is molding the clay of the goddess or the divine self. So isn't that interesting? This Venus journey, I'll come back to this, but because Venus is going into Virgo on Sunday, I want you to be prepared as we look ahead. All right, does anybody have questions? I see June's in the house. Welcome, beautiful. Oh, the storyline of your life right now. Naomi, we got to do a check-in. I know I've threatened this before, but let's get ourselves on an appointment. Because Naomi's Light's got her tuning forks. You can use that as a wonderful way, an extra set of healing tools to not only, bring this awareness of what's happening in life, but help the physical body integrate the energy, right, and heal from old patterns. So Naomi, June, I'm going to send you a message, and we'll really get on Zoom this time. So I can see how you're doing with your sound healing and support you in that way. And we'll just all feel better, right? Okay. So I'm going to leave this here, but let's recap. Stop screen share. Let's recap what is going on in the cosmos this week. All right, we're starting out with the moon, Libra tonight, Scorpio, which is the crescent moon. So the Cheshire Cat moon, that's called the blood moon. Crescent Scorpio moon is the blood moon. So it's like feeling your primal wellness power. Blood moon is really healing at that underworld level. You're welcome, June. I would love that too. We need some one-to-one time. Then we go into the first quarter Sag moon, which is the seeker's moon, seeking truth, and that's going to be in play next week as we go towards the full moon. We've got the inner planets making aspects to outer planets, Venus, Mars, Mercury, our relationships and how we feel about ourselves, what we value. Mars, our inner masculine that's activating and charging ahead with courageous fearlessness. And then Mercury, using the quantum field to shift, change, and grow. All right, so Venus is the star because she not only makes aspects to Jupiter and Pluto, and Neptune? Yeah, and Neptune. She is going into Virgo. And then Mars is in synergy with Jupiter, so activating that expansion, like don't be afraid of what may come up for you to heal, because Venus is going to take that and mold it into a goddess in September. And then Mercury is in opposition to Jupiter, making a harmonic about relationships and nurturing, being in two realms. And it's all about healing that elemental part of you, which really is your divine angelic self. So we're reattaching our wings and we're healing through the energy of the magical child. So get out there, talk to the plants, sing with the birds, call upon the gnomes, fairies, the elves, say, what's up? What's going on? Have a conversation with the crows. Say hello to the hawks. I say fly by. What elementals will you connect with? It could be the sylphs, the selkies, the mermaids, the unicorns, the Pegasus. Who else is out there? Give me some ideas. All right, so that's our week ahead. Stay focused. Be true to self. Communicate one-to-one. And if you don't understand, take a moment, take a breath, go, this is what I heard. Is that right? Feel calm, cool, collected in your own center, peaceful, ground, get your spiritual downloads. You've got messages coming from the elemental world. They want to play with you. So make sure you're out there where they can find you. Okay, thanks for joining tonight in the Cosmos. I'll be back next Monday for the week ahead as we move into Mercury retrograde and the full moon. Those are the highlights next week. If you have questions, let me know. Of course, the Mars Gemini Wellness Workbook is available. It's on sale, $12, 22-page ebook to support you over the next 7 months. Venus in Virgo is the 9 of Pentacles, which is part of the Diamond of Wellness that the Mars journey is offering to help redesign your whole quantum being so that you can manifest complete cycles and live a beautiful, healthy, wealthy, awesome life. That's the game plan moving forward. All right, thanks for joining, and feel free, I'll make a YouTube link and you can share the link with friends and family. Bye for now. Good night. Sweet dreams.